It's like every week there's another nail being put in Blizzard's coffin. Every time that we think we've heard everything, something else comes out. And I don't know if this is ever going to stop at this point. So, for those of you who don't know, a former Blizzard employee who was with the company for something like 20 years. So, basically, one of the OGs. So, he's been with the company for almost as long as it has existed, has been accused of making very disparaging comments on Discord about employees or management at the company, and has been accused of harassing numerous people internally. And while we may not know exactly what happened internally, there has been some Discord leaks showing what kind of person he is. And the attitude of another one of Blizzard's OG employees, showing the sort of frat culture that came out during the lawsuits. So, looking at the article that came out about this on Game Rant, it says former Activision Blizzard dev Jeff Frazier accused of making transphobic comments in right wing of gaming Discord server. Now, you can read the articles yourself. I don't want to be one of those YouTubers that just reads out the whole bejesus thing for you. But to sum up, Jeff Frazier was fired, at least in part because of his far-right viewpoints evident in several discriminatory tirades he posted in a Discord server called the Right Wing of Gaming. So, we don't know the full details of why he was fired, but some people believe it definitely has something to do with this. For him to be fired so soon after all the lawsuits does lend credence to the fact that he is definitely some sort of harasser or just someone who's generally a drain on the environment of the company itself. So anyway, the comments were made public by another former employee, Jessica Gonzalez. She quit. She wasn't fired before anybody wonders. And she leaked screenshots of the Discord that he used. I've read the tweets, and a lot of it seems very similar to stuff that edgelords just say on the goddamn internet, which is extra annoying because if this guy's been with the company for 20 years, it probably means he's in his 40s. So we've got 40-year-old men talking like, teenagers on 4chan, right? Like it's so weird that this attitude is prevalent amongst the upper echelons of Blizzard. And he's listed as a dev, but I do believe that he was actually in web development, so he's not even like a game dev, who were the ones that were mostly accused of being the sort of frat boys of the company. They certainly seem to believe that they were rock stars. I mean, they did make several successful titles, and then apparently started smelling their own farts to the point that they couldn't smell the roses anymore. This is another OG person who wasn't really part of that team, but that attitude still seemed to spread to even people like himself, who wasn't as involved with the World of Warcraft or StarCraft or any of the really big titles that earn Blizzard its name. I do understand that people on the internet, especially when they believe they're being anonymous, talk differently probably than they would in real life. A lot of people say dumb shit in YouTube comments and on Twitter and basically everywhere on the internet that I don't think they would actually say face to face with people. So that doesn't overtly surprise me. But the stuff that he says is very indicative of the attitude that he probably has outside of Discord and while working in the company. He probably didn't use these specific statements when speaking to other employees, but I sincerely doubt we can go from what we're about to look at here to somebody who was just a little angel or somebody who kept to himself and didn't say anything to the other employees. So I know some people might say that, oh, these are just harassment allegations. At least right now, I think we have some evidence that lends credence to those allegations, because, I mean, seriously, it's not that much of a leap to say he's talking like this here in a place where it is possible to see other people's messages, and that he wouldn't talk like that in the office at all. I think we might have caught him red-handed here. But anyway, let's take a look at some of these tweets. So these are the screenshots that Jessica Gonzalez posted on Twitter. 7 people quit yesterday. 3 people quit today, major Call of Duty people. Their response was to give us a handicapped people presentation, which is kind of fitting since they're word where YouTube doesn't like. I mean, in one sense, if you cut off like right here, he could just simply be complaining about the amount of people who are quitting the company, and therefore disparaging the company itself. And no one's defending Blizzard, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if there was people quitting left, right, and center given everything that's going on. But then he just now, I don't think that this is done in response to people quitting. I don't think they were like, oh my god, 10 people have quit. Let's do a presentation on something that has nothing to do with it. No, I don't think that's the problem. Or I don't think that's what, went through their head. As people quit last week, they mailed us that that rainbow shirts are back in stock. Then yesterday, our team said for a team event, we should all get rainbow shirts. Like everyone is on board. Patriot Win had a line: tolerance, acceptance, advocation, glorification. Now, what I will say here, again, like, it's interesting with these tweets that if you cut out certain sections, he might actually come off a bit different, because a lot of people were feeling that after all this came out, or when the investigation first started, that Blizzard was doing a bunch of grandstanding, releasing like shirts or saying about how diverse they were, and it was just smoke and mirrors to hide what was actually going on. And frankly, if you just take this statement, right, it could be the same thing. People are quitting. Oh, but look at how diverse we are. And it's all smoke and mirrors, right? Because we obviously know Blizzard was a terrible place to be working at. So this could just be grandstanding. Something I do believe is worth complaining about, since it doesn't actually fix the problems in the company. But then we go on. They're on the glorification stage. I don't know where it goes after that. We're required to tolerate homosexual people, then accept them, and then you're required to advocate for them, and you're required to worship them. This is someone who's clearly missing the point. What these rainbow shirts and everything are supposed to be. They are supposed to be supportive. I don't think you wear a rainbow shirt and you're automatically worshiping the LGBTQ community. Again, you can criticize the grandstanding they're probably doing, because I really don't feel like this was genuine considering what was going on at the time. But that doesn't appear to be what he's saying. He's not criticizing the fact that they're doing this and it's empty. He's just criticizing the fact that they're doing it and who it's in support of. So again, in this section here, if you look at the top, he's actually saying some stuff that I would complain about as well. The people go, okay, to convince people to stay, here's $5,000 each, but payable in March 2024. So, if that's true, what? Oh my god, people are quitting. How about I give you $5,000 in 2 years? 2 years and a couple months. That sounds reasonable, right? I could literally be dead in between then and now. God knows what will happen. Then the idiots go buy stock at the worst possible price, $99, when the next day it's $90, and immediately lose $700. So they're like, okay, now you get $4,302 in March 2024. And then the stupid people act like they're doing you some favor. Wow, you're an owner of a company. I'd rather go somewhere else, make $30K more, and buy $30,000 of a company that isn't assholes. Like, oh, let's have a bonus that you can get, in 2.5 years. And considering there's people who are quitting long before the 2.5 years will be up. Yeah, that's pretty dumb. And then saying they're going to give you less after saying they're going to give you a certain amount. Jesus. Yeah, and I'd rather go somewhere else. Yeah, I'd probably want to go somewhere else too, honestly. So again, like, funny, it's like if I take this, while obviously he's very angry and talking like it, I mean, nothing there is unreasonable. They're worse than EA now. Actually, that's a sentiment that's been tossed out quite a bit as well. Working on my resume slowly, I suck. I think they know I didn't vaccine and are conservative. Now, I will say, I don't believe the fact someone is conservative should be locking them out of a job anywhere. You can be conservative and not an absolute bastard. I know, given the internet, it's hard to believe that. So the 3 libtard bosses. So right away, the word here tells me what kind of person we're dealing with. Because if you're somebody who is conservative, but isn't trying to be antagonistic, you don't use this word. You're doing this because you feel superior to left-leaning individuals, and you're using disparaging words against them. So this is not somebody who is a reasonable person in my mind when they use words like this. This is somebody who feels superior. All the interns are women too. It's so dumb. At least one has giant tracts of land. Blah 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 blah. Lots of objectification. Talks about our partner too, probably lesbian, so outing people. As the president fucking loses everyone of value, he makes time to send more dumb messages about stupid shit. So again, we're obviously dealing with somebody who, while is only alleged to be a harasser or somebody that was very antagonistic in the workplace, again, unless he has a completely different attitude when in the office, which I find people that act like this in Discord, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, it's very hard to find people that are this antagonistic and are managing to just be an air of agreeability while in the office. So I don't feel like we're doing much of a jump here. There's 7 to 15 year people going on the daily basis now, more than 2019, even with the 700 layoffs. My team is now fucking 30 Activision people and like 4 Blizzard people. Complaining about the company is something that everybody can unify against, but the way he's doing it, the people he's accusing, the attitudes he's having towards the equality training that they're giving out, this is the kind of stuff that makes it not a stretch for me that this person is, antagonistic in the workplace. So the takeaway here is, again, that one of the OGs of Blizzard has this frat boy mentality, has this history of harassment. Some other conversations on Gonzalez's tweets talk about how Jeff was definitely reported to HR. She was the loudest about it, apparently, but she knows other people brought complaints about him to HR. There is some screenshots showing that somebody else at the company was talking about how he could get involved from a distance to kind of protect Jeff, which again feeds into what was said in the lawsuits about how upper management might shuffle people around as opposed to fire them for any of the allegations that were brought against them. And it's just another nail in the coffin that paints Blizzard as a company that got ran by basically children. They were people that started a company or started working at a company in its infant stages, which can lead to a sort of frat boy, but just like a sort of family feeling, right? Where everyone's your friend because it's so small, and then it grows and grows and grows. But then those people that started that it felt like a family with have a bad tendency, especially when they started something small and they grew to something very successful, start having this attitude of everyone should owe them for the way the company grew, and that those people should owe them for having a job, and basically think that they're rock stars. And sometimes that attitude leads to people acting like an ass and objectifying women, or criticizing people who don't agree with them in the company, and that then moves on to possibly outing members of the LGBTQ community, or using your influence to protect your original friend group as opposed to people who join the company later. And I mean, like, some of the things in the Discord talk about legitimate problems with the company, how it's a hard place to work at now. Activision's moving in. They try to convince people with bonuses and then cut the bonuses down. Like, that's the kind of crap that shows just how incompetent a lot of the upper management at Blizzard Activision have been. But a lot of people are pointing this out again as just another sort of another bit of proof that the lawsuits had merit, because there's always going to be apologists who believe that they're just allegations and we have no proof, which is still technically true in this case as well. We can only speculate, given the timing of the firing and what was going on, that it was related, but we don't know. There could be some other stuff we don't know about. But basically, this is just another piece of proof that upper management was protecting people who were problems because they were OGs or original employees. And I mean, like, this person is like VP of web development or something, or was. And I mean, like, how would you feel working for somebody like that? Imagine, that, you know, your boss is the one talking down to you or ousting you for being LGBTQ. And then how would you ever feel like you can move up in a company or call that company home when the management is talking down to you that way? Again, he may not have done it as an obvious way as he did on Discord here, but we can speculate that there was definitely some side-eye comments being made. And it's just not fair. When you're at work, you need to feel that the place is productive, management cares, and that you do have equal ability to advance as the other people there, regardless of how you identify, regardless of what makes you different from the other people there. Because, I mean, if you are someone who is in the LGBTQ space or any other minority group, when you see this, and even though Discord has a level of anonymity to it, I mean, it's still a public space that people can obviously get access to these statements. So if you're in that space and you see one of the higher ups in your office saying these things, do you feel that you are going to be treated fairly? Am I going to have the equal chance of becoming a manager or getting promotions as somebody else who is not in any of these groups that he is citing here? No, you're going to feel that you are going to be ostracized by your higher ups. So that's not indicative of a working workspace, really. In essence, I think it's another bad apple gone, but it's no longer just a few bad apples. We're seeing so many problems from present and past employees, people who were gone before the lawsuit became public, that it was just a bad place to work. I think Blizzard has a long way to go, and a lot of mistakes were made, and it might be really, really hard to dig themselves out of this. So, but I do hope, because Blizzard owns, you know, some of my favorite games, and games that those development teams are very proud to work on and be a part of. And I think there's a number of them that don't want to quit because they want to keep the actual job. So I do hope that Blizzard is able to pull itself out so that these people can continue working on the stuff that they are proud to work on. But that seems like right now, with everything that's coming out, it's an uphill battle. I'm just hoping something has changed. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are interested in further content. I'm a streamer on Twitch. You can check out any links in the description below. And since my mother commented that my last outro was, let me check the text here, childish, I guess it's time for me to be a bit more adult with my outros. So with that, everybody, get off my goddamn lawn.